Hey everyone, welcome back to Product X. I'm Rena, and we decode future tech unicorns every single day. Today we're diving into a story that's sending shockwaves through both Silicon Valley and the Pentagon. A stealth mode defense startup called Singularity just burst out of hiding with an $80 million Series A, hitting a $400 million valuation in one shot. This company was built by former SpaceX and Tesla engineers alongside veterans who've sold over $120 billion in air defense systems. They're promising to revolutionize air defense the way Tesla revolutionized car manufacturing. Vivian, want to kick us off?
Hey Rena, hey Nolan. Yeah, I'm Vivian, a senior angel investor at Pre-Angel Fund. Been tracking defense tech for years now, and honestly, this one hit different. Finally, someone is attacking the real problem.
Rena, good to be here. I'm Nolan, former CTO at a big tech company in the Valley, and I've been nerding out on their engineering approach. This is the kind of technical challenge that gets me out of bed in the morning.
So here's the core issue. In today's conflicts, we're seeing a terrifying mismatch. Drones and loitering munitions cost a few $1,000s each. Meanwhile, we're firing $2 million Patriot missiles to intercept them. The math doesn't just not work, it's financially unsustainable. Vivian, why are VCs suddenly dumping hundreds of millions into air defense startups?
Great question. You've hit on what's called the cost-exchange ratio, and it's keeping the Pentagon up at night. Here's the thing. Legacy defense contractors like Raytheon and Lockheed operate on a model of low volume, extreme markups, and years-long cycle times. Their whole profit engine is built around maintaining a small number of incredibly expensive artifacts. But when a $150,000 Stinger missile takes out a $2,000 drone, the enemy wins financially before the first shot even lands. That's not a tactical problem, it's fiscal bankruptcy. Singularity is betting on what I call the industrial scale moat. They saw the bottleneck clearly. We have the technology to shoot these things down. What we don't have is the production capacity. That's why the capital is pouring in. They see a money printing press that can upend the entire multi-billion-dollar air defense procurement landscape.
Right? And from the engineering side, that's exactly where it gets interesting. The traditional approach buries you in cost because every single component, every capacitor, every gyroscope has to be radiation hardened, extreme, temp tolerant, custom built. We're talking millions per missile just because of component level paranoia. What Singularity did is bring in that Tesla mindset. Software robustness can compensate for hardware cheapness. They dropped the expensive radar seeker entirely and replaced it with commercial-grade cameras and edge AI inference. We're talking tens of dollars in chips doing the job of $100,000 radar systems.
Wait, hold on. You're saying consumer-grade cameras can survive a 100G missile launch and actually track targets at hypersonic speeds?
That's the billion-dollar question, literally. They use multimodal vision, so it's not relying on a single point of failure. And the guidance logic is the real magic. They feed camera data into a proportional navigation algorithm running on edge chips. The math is elegant. They calculate line-of-sight angular velocity from the video feed in real time and apply machine learning compensation. No expensive gimbal mechanisms needed. The missile adjusts its trajectory entirely through software. That alone cuts about a third of the manufacturing cost and weight.
And that ties straight back to the capital story. When you can strip out that much cost, suddenly, the whole economic equation flips. Instead of building 12 missiles a year in some clean room, you could be pumping out thousands. That's the velocity play that Khosla and NEA are betting on. They didn't fund a better weapon. They funded a manufacturing revolution.
So the moat isn't the technology itself. It's the manufacturing speed and scale?
Exactly. The technology exists. The crisis is pure industrial capacity. And the team knows it. The CEO literally said we had the tech decades ago. The question is, who can build it fast enough?
And that's the engineering hill they're climbing next. Once you scale from tens to thousands of units per month, minor batch variances in COTS components or propellant coatings get amplified massively during hypersonic flight. Their next big challenge is building a zero-human intervention automated QC pipeline with digital twins and X-ray imaging. Every cheap missile still needs to deliver when it matters.
So the ultimate test isn't the smarts, it's consistency at scale. Vivian, let's get your take on the competitive landscape. How do legacy defense giants respond to this?
They can't move that fast. That's the honest answer. You've got organizations that literally require dozens of subcontractors to stitch together a single missile. Singularity is doing full stack in-house from day one. The legacy primes are built on a patchwork model that worked for the Cold War, but collapses under drone swarm economics. Either they completely reinvent their supply chains, or they get left behind.
Yeah, and there's a cultural barrier too. Defense contractors have been optimizing for reliability through over-engineering for 50 years. The idea that you solve reliability through software redundancy and volume testing rather than expensive components. That feels almost blasphemous to the old guard.
It sounds like we're watching a collision between two eras of defense manufacturing. Let's shift gears. I want to dig into the edge AI piece more. Nolan, explain how proportional navigation actually works with machine vision in plain English.
Sure. Classic proportional navigation is basically the missile constantly adjusting its course to point at where the target is going to be. You need the target's position and velocity. Radar gives you that directly. With machine vision, you're extracting that from video frames, tracking the drone's silhouette, estimating its velocity from how it moves across pixels. The edge chip does all that in real time, maybe 10 to 15 times a second. The ML model compensates for tracking errors and prediction drift. It's the same kind of computer vision that powers autonomous driving, just adapted for a much more hostile environment.
So it's basically autonomous driving, but for missiles.
In a nutshell. Yeah. And that convergence is what makes this possible. The automotive industry has already solved most of these problems at scale. Singularity is just applying those answers to a different battlefield.
And that's exactly what the investors saw. When you've got a team that understands both defense procurement and automotive manufacturing, you've got a bridge between two worlds that haven't talked to each other properly until now.
Let's talk about the team for a second. They pulled together veterans with $120 billion in air defense sales and SpaceX engineers. How rare is that combination?
Extremely. The defense world and the Silicon Valley world rarely overlap. You've got people who understand the Pentagon procurement maze, but have never seen agile development. And you've got software engineers who've never thought about survivability under 100G acceleration. Finding both in one founding team, that's why this round was oversubscribed within days.
The SpaceX DNA shows up in their systems integration approach. They're not trying to invent everything from scratch. They're pulling proven components, integrating them fast, testing relentlessly, iterating. That's the SpaceX playbook. And the automotive veterans bring the manufacturing scale. It's a rare hybrid.
All right, time for the lightning round. Quick fire questions, quick answers. First one. What's the single most surprising thing about Singularity's approach?
They built it backwards. Started with the cost target and engineered to that, rather than building something amazing and slapping on a price tag.
For me, it's the courage to drop the radar seeker. That component has been sacred in missile design for decades.
Second question. If Singularity executes perfectly, who loses the most?
Legacy primes. Raytheon, Lockheed. Their entire model gets disrupted.
I'd say the drone manufacturers too. Their whole cheap threat advantage evaporates if you can intercept them economically.
Next, most underrated challenge they face?
Talent. Finding engineers who can bridge defense reliability requirements with Silicon Valley velocity. That's a hard sell.
Supply chain resilience at scale. When you're ramping to thousands of units, a single bad component batch takes down your whole operation.
Fourth, favorite tech detail in their architecture?
The modular cartridge design for final assembly. Any robotic arm can put it together. That's the Toyota line thinking.
The software-defined guidance loop. Pure elegance. Using algorithms to replace mechanical gimbals, that's the future.
Last one. One word or phrase that defines this company.
Velocity.
Integration.
Perfect. Now, let's wrap up. Vivian, give us your one-sentence summary of what Singularity represents.
Singularity is the proof that the defense industry's bottleneck has shifted from technology to production velocity, and whoever masters automotive-grade manufacturing first owns the next era of air defense.
Nolan, your one-sentence take?
They're betting everything that software-defined guidance and COTS components can replace half a century of over-engineered missile design. And the early results suggest they might be right.
That's the show, everyone. We watched a stealth defense startup raise $80 million to bring Tesla's manufacturing philosophy to the most expensive problem in modern warfare. The battleground isn't just the sky anymore, it's the factory floor. Thanks for watching Product X. Catch you next time.